I got to have something going on. 2 weeks in a row now. Two. Anybody notice anything missing on this screen? We're going to give Super Steel Steve a little bit, see if he shows up. He knows we talked earlier. He even put up a post earlier today about it. So maybe he's just running a little late. But until that point, hey guys, you got me. I know. I'm sorry. But still, let's have a little bit of fun, okay? Let's go through the usual roll call like we do. Iron Wings, dude. I like that you voted, like that you got out there exercising your constitutional right. Thank you, brother. Rob Brennan, Bill Rivers. Bill, that black paracord's finally done, bro. I shot the video today with the last bit of it. It's gone. It's out of here. That batch is toast. So now we're going to see if it's really the paracord or it's me. You'll know in the next videos when you see orange paracord. Seriously, you'll know. Super Chef, my brother. Let's see who else we got here. Hey, Sinister Knife Clips. How are you, sir? Will, my brother. Murky Ocean, how you doing? Jersey Joe, you pineapple eating some bitch. You. All right, guys. Well, I had a whole big thing planned for tonight, of course. You know, when you have a guest, you kind of plan for that. But let's just roll with this for a little while and see what's happening. We've got so many weird news stories going around. My head's been exploding all day long with a potential military takeover of our government under Trump. Yeah, go look at General Miley. Not too happy there. Really, really not too happy there. Got a blade in the other day. I should have paid a little bit more attention. I thought it may have been like a Japanese Opino. Nope. It's a Japanese folding chef knife. And speaking of Steve, I hear a knockdown below. So hold on, guys. Look at that.
What's up, man?
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. How are you, sir? Thank you for having me on.
Oh, man, it's my pleasure. And, oh, God, okay, you're not freezing. All right. Now, I usually tell you this in the green room, but we're going to roll with the opening here, okay?
All right,
so,
screwed up.
You're fine. You're here. Dude, I'm good. But, all right. So, guys, we got our guest tonight. Now, without any further ado, we're going to talk about the man who seriously, in the last couple months, turned upside down 2 communities with 1 viral video. I don't think I have ever seen that happen before. Now, Steve, I know who you are. Introduce yourself to the audience, brother.
Oh, you're talking about me? Oh, yeah, I'm Steve. Super Steel Steve is my YouTube channel that I've now moved over to Rumble. I got an Instagram page, Chef Culinary 2, because they blocked Chef Culinary 1, my original one. They shut it down.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, shocker, right? Yeah, shocker. You say something you don't like, and they're gone. I'm a 20-year vet in a professional kitchen. 17 of those are as a cook and a chef. And yeah, I'm just your all around fun loving neighborhood American.
And he said that all with a straight face. That's the best part. Okay. Now,
can't bullshit a bullshitter.
Right. Now, Steve, you got put on my map because of Doc P91B. I literally had no clue who the hell you were. And then I started to watch your videos and I went, okay, I've got to speak out. So for starters, I want to give you a lot of credit for doing what you did. Not a lot of people would do that and put their YouTube career, in peril to call somebody out and go, there's fraud, there's all this crap going on. This needs to be dealt with. And the one thing you did in your video that really separated it and made me look into it, you outed yourself for your past.
100%, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I said 100%. Yeah, 100%. I'm not I've always been, so like when I got into I didn't get into YouTube because I thought I was going to be anything. I did it because I come from the kitchen world, right?
Right.
And I can't even remember how I stumbled on somebody's review of a pocket knife. And I was like, wow, there's all these people that play around with pocket knives. Like, I've always carried a pocket knife. And then I started, and again, coming from the kitchen, I got into sharpening, right? Because I'm using my knives every day, and that's how I got into like steels and stuff like that. Well, all of a sudden I started looking into like Spyderco, right? They have that like what's it called, education on their website, and there's all these steels I never even heard of, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I started looking through it all. I'm like, oh man, it's a bunch of new steels for me to fuck with and sharpen and have fun. And then so I was watching a bunch of these videos, and there would be this like you just hear like S30V is chippy, this steel's this steel's that. I'm like, this is such. It's so bunk, man. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense because they're not talking about the manufacturer, like who's heat treating it, like what edge angle, what do they, none of this stuff. I'm like, you can't just say that kind of shit. So I got tired of arguing with guys in the comments. So I'm like, I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna make a test, right? And make it as like everyday dude relatable as I can, and then just start doing some testing. And then when guys come up with this dumb shit, I'll just like, here's a video showing you what I'm talking about, right? And then it just happened that a guy by the name of Nero Knives, I don't know if you know who he is.
Yes.
He's so Nero happened to somehow see the fucking video, got recommended to him. He saw it and was like, hey, I like this idiot. And then blasted across his small platform, and then that kind of took off from there, and I just started making more videos because then you got eyes on you, and people start listening. Like if I got a couple people that are going to listen, maybe I can start educating people. Like not that I'm some fucking genius, but just from my years of in the kitchen and my years of playing with steels, it seemed like there was a niche that nobody was talking about. It was just like fit finish and stuff like that.
You've mentioned that, how you want to bridge the gap between everyday carry and kitchen knives and bring, more awareness and stuff to that. But before we go much further, guys, I should have said this in the beginning. This is not going to be a family-friendly chat. So if bad words offend you, no, I should have said this in the beginning. You're fine, Steve. I don't think you're going to beat the record we had on my channel. One night in an hour stream, there was 350 F-bombs.
I might come close.
Yeah, but we'll see if you beat that. So I'm not going
to try, but I'll come close.
Yeah, it's not going to be family-friendly, so I wanted to put that out there for you guys.
Yeah, there you go.
I love how you do your tests. You sit there and you're cutting through cardboard, and it's like, I cut through this many feet, I cut through this much this, and you're flat out. I dulled the knife, I sharpened the knife to this point, it's ready to go. Now we're going to start doing cut tests.
Yeah, exactly.
And I like that.
It's just, again, I just wanted it to be relatable. I wasn't trying to be like uber overly scientific with it. I was like, hey, I'm going to sharpen this. I grabbed a diafold DMT sharpener. You can get it Home Depot. Yeah. And I'm like, this is what I would use, right? It's easy. It's two-sided, boom, boom, a quick strap. This is what any dude, and the other part about it was, and this is leading into what you said about me talking about my past, is when I got into this, most everybody that I saw on YouTube doing these knife reviews, it was just hands. It was nobody's face, which I thought was fucking weird. Right. And then like on Instagram, you would just see people's like hands with a knife, and it was like nobody's fucking face. And it was really fucking weird to me to like, nobody showed their face. So I don't understand that. I'm like, how are you going to listen to somebody if you can't even see them, right? Yeah. So that's what I'm leading into that, because everyone was like, oh, I can see your face. That's so crazy. And it's like, yeah, I've always been transparent from day one. That's how I've always been. Yeah,
I gotta say that you have. You don't hide shit. And we do have a question for you from the audience. Sober Chef Eric wants to know, did you go to culinary school or did you apprentice? No,
I was not. I applied to culinary school, but I could not afford it.
Right, Chris? Right.
I did an apprenticeship program actually through the ACF. If he's a chef, he knows what the ACF is. I couldn't afford culinary school, and at my local community college, they had a ACF program. So if you had a job in the field, you had OJ, like you were working, they would pay for the class. You just had to buy the book. So that's where I got my first serve safe. That's where I got my equipment operations management. I got all these national certifications through that. While I'd already been in the kitchen for 5, 6 years at that point. That's when I made the decision, like, okay, I want to take this as a career. I made that decision while in solitary confinement in a county jail, actually, is when I was like, hey, I should probably do something with my life. I'm about to be 21 years old, and I'm literally in jail. Like I can't really get much worse than this. I need to do something with my life. And that's where it happened. So like I said, yeah, that's why I've always been that way. Like, the only way I know how to be is me, and it's transparent, and it's abrasive to some people. I get that. That's why the YouTube trolls don't bother me. When people talk shit to me, it doesn't bother me, because if you know anybody that knows me in real life, I'm exactly the same. So I'm used to people. Sometimes I get rubbed. Some people fucking love me and we're best friends, and some people get rubbed the wrong way. Just like with what you said, I had dozens of comments in there with people like, how am I supposed to listen to some fucking idiot who admits that he did bad shit in the past and now he's on a soapbox? And I'm like, no, man, that's called growing up. That's just being a man.
Thank you.
Everybody makes mistakes. The only way you grow up is when you fuck up, right? You fuck up and then you learn from that, and that's how you grow up. So I think maybe nowadays it's more rare because everybody just wants to be fucking right all the time. Nobody ever wants to be wrong about anything. It doesn't matter what it is. It's so hard to sit there and be like, I made a mistake, or this is wrong, or whatever. And that's just how I've always been.
I mean, dude, that's what so kills me. I know a lot of people, and any of you Untitled idiots who are in here, I'm not talking about anybody in particular. They're so concerned about their brand or their image that they have to be a certain way. But it's like when you're off camera, you're an entirely different way. And that's one thing about you that seriously, after going through your videos, and I looked through your Instagram feed, this is who he is.
Yeah, you can ask me. And I joke around with guys all the time because since I got into this and did the YouTube thing, 2019, I live now in Georgia. So I'm about 40 miles from Atlanta. Been to Blade Show 2019, just went to the past Blade Show in 2021. And I tell everybody the same thing. Everybody knows what I look like. I don't know what anybody looks like, right? So anybody who doesn't like me, you could walk up and just fucking stonewall me, like just cold. I'd never even see it coming because I have no idea what people look like. But every single time I go to Blade Show, everybody comes up, people pull me out of a crowd, want to have a beer, want to sit down and talk. We have a good time, and everybody will tell you I'm the exact same fucking person as I am in regular life as I am on Instagram or on YouTube or whatever. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm trying to be some badass. It's just this is how I am. I don't have a problem telling anybody something to their face, let alone tell you on a video. Like it's like scary to tell something on a video. It's awkward talking to a camera. If you watch my first videos versus my last ones, it was very awkward when I first did it to sit there and talk to talk to a camera. But other than that, man, it's just
good to see you. Hope you're doing okay, brother.
Beard to the door.
And what kills me, like with your videos, it's weird how I said you turned everything really upside down, and you helped introduce a bunch of people who had no clue who the fuck everybody else was, and everybody started to subscribe and everybody.
Yeah, that was cool. I didn't realize that. My buddy Shane Gables, he pointed that out to me. He was like, he texted me and he's like, bro, I don't know if you hit the algorithm or whatever it was. He's like, but there's all these fucking channels that are popping by the woodworks that have no fucking clue who you are that are responding. And there's another video I meant to make, but there was a dozen channels that I had never, or more, that I had no clue who they were. You know what I mean? And like most of the guys were like you, they're like, never fucking heard of you, Steve. And this thing just fucking pops up and I hear it from so-and-so. And again, for something that was a shitty thing, at least one of the benefits was it brought a lot of the community together, right? And that was my whole point for the whole thing, was like, everybody talks about community, everybody talks about how we're this, which we are, right? You have people, they fucking send each other thousands of dollars and hundreds of dollars worth of knives on a whim, don't even know the person. So we should be able to have these conversations when something like this happens, right? Because the bigger the knife community gets, the more money's involved, the more this type of shit could happen, right? So,
and I like how you did it. You didn't, to me, okay, like I said in my video, I don't know if you have anything with, slicey dicey, period. I don't know. I don't care. But the way you handled it, it was, I'm not trying to kill you. I'm not trying to stomp anything out, but we need to call you on the carpet because this is bullshit. You doing this is going to impact every knife reviewer who comes right down the road. Because if Slicey did it, who's to say this channel's not going to do it? Who's to say that channel's not going to do it?
Exactly.
I like how you did that. It wasn't, look at me, I'm Steve. It's,
no,
this shit's fucked up.
Yeah, I was literally sitting on my stoop in the front of my townhouse. Like, that's, like, I made the video. You know what I mean? It's not like some crazy, I'm not trying to, like, wow anybody. It was just, it's an honest, because if this happened in my real life, this is exactly how I would handle it. I'd pull the boys together and be like, we need to have a fucking conversation about Brian. I just found this out, and we need to confront him on it and find out what the fuck happened. Because
that's how it should be.
Yeah,
that's how it should be. If you're fucking up, you want your friend to come after you. You want your boys to come after you. Go, dude, what the fuck? Not, hey, you're good, keep going. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, nobody wants fair weather friends, right? Like nobody.
Exactly.
Like that's how you know. That's how you know who your friends are. Is the ones that call you. Those are the guys you keep close to you, right? The ones that keep you honest, right? The ones that will call you on your bullshit every time, and that's how you stay honest, you know. But if we all sit here and again, all these people were coming at me with this, and it's just like everyone was sweeping this under the rug because, again, our community is this tiny little butthole of YouTube. And to act like somebody with 20,000 subs is like somebody special is like, and so you're allowing him to do this to people. Like you said, it affects the whole community. It's so small as it is, and it's starting to grow. And if you want people to, I don't know, one day actually garner enough views to where they can make some money, right? Which is a great thing. If more views get out there and people can make some money doing YouTube or Rumble or whatever, that's great. Then it gets more exposure, then more companies, and it just snowballs, right? It's like the gun community, right? The more they used to, I mean, before YouTube ripped them all down, they'd get hundreds of thousands, a million views, blah, 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 all this stuff on there. That brings in revenue, that brings in money. They can do better videos. They can do more. It brings more people to the community. The more, the merrier.
And see, I like this quote by Chris, where he's saying, I know he's followed you for, I bet that's for a goo, whatever, to the fault with the EDC community in the last 60 days. He's always been straight up and honest, no BS. And I like how he ends that. Sometimes honesty is cringy.
It is. You know what I mean? Like, everyone in your life has had, like, cringy fucking conversation. Like, when you have to have a conversation with somebody you love, right? Or you care about, right? And you're just like, God, this sucks so bad. Like, and you got to look him in the face and be like, hey, man, I found out you've been skimming off the top, or I found out you did this, or I found out, it's a rough conversation. I don't like doing it. Like, I don't walk around and be like, hey, I want to fucking, lock horns with anybody. You know what I mean? And that's like, if you look at my entire YouTube career, it was just like Steve in his hole, I'm making videos, and then someone would pop out of nowhere and start talking shit and try to, downplay what I'm doing somehow and start shit. And then I'm just going to fucking finish it. Like, okay, we can go back and forth with this. It's not, I don't, like, some guys think like I live for this. Like, I got way better things to do in my life than
being as high up as you are with the chef, and the way you're describing yourself, helping restaurants navigate through COVID and helping them do different things. That's a pretty important fucking job, as opposed to sitting there and going, okay, well, this blade right here has 440A steel, and it cuts through this. And
what were you saying?
No, I was just the way you just, God, how can I put it? The way you navigate it, and I got a couple more follow-ups on that. Did you get a bunch of flack over everything? Like, your inbox fill up full of hatred?
Oh, yeah, man. I just finally figured out that on the YouTube studio, there's a flagged for review with the comments. I just went through and unleashed a bunch of them because if you cuss in a comment section of YouTube, half the time it'll just rip it down instantly. I can't even do it to my own videos, right? It'll just rip them down. I can't cut someone out in my own comment section. It'll rip it down. Some of them will go there. Some of them just disappear forever. I got dozens and dozens of people on every video talking shit, saying I'm a scumbag because, again, like you said, because I said I've been arrested in the past. I had one, Justin actually sent me a text message laughing, and he was like, yo, somebody posted this on my comment section, and it was a link to the Hall County Sheriff's Office with my mugshot from June. And it was like, he's actually like some self-righteous asshole. What self-respecting upstanding member of the community does this? And I started laughing, and I was like, and then the guy showed up in my comment section. I'm like, okay, follow up. Go look into what that was about. Follow up. Yeah. Follow up and show me about it. Again, then he magically vanished. Because if he looked into it, it was because I got charged with the driving on a suspended license, which I fought in court because it was bullshit and won and had it dropped. But again, it doesn't matter. It's small town police. They're going to arrest you for whatever they want. It is what it is. I fought it. I won. It doesn't matter. Even if I was driving unsuspended, does that make me a horrible person? Does that make me unqualified to call out Slicey on his bullshit? No, it has nothing to do with that. No. But again, you have people. Misery loves company, is what I've learned. And when people are not happy with their situation, I mean, YouTube is like the fucking breeding ground for people coming through who have nothing going on in their lives to just try to rip everyone down. People put a ton of time and effort and make content, and it doesn't matter. I said this in Metal Complex's comment section. I said, you want to, because he was kind of touching on that there's a lot of negativity going on. And I'm friends with Richard. We're cool. But he was saying, you know, there's kind of some negativity going on, and that's not really what my channel's about, and I don't really want to touch at it because all this negativity. And then people are lighting me up in the comment section, Super Still Steve's a douchebag, And so I commented, I'm like, you know what the big ball of negativity is in that community? The fucking comment section of YouTube. That's the ball of negativity, because Metal Complex, like the nicest fucking guy in the world, right? Never says a bad thing about anybody, but you can still go through every single goddamn one of his videos, and you will find a slew of people talking shit to him. It doesn't matter who you are. You could be like rescuing puppies out of fucking Libya and like out of a helicopter like Rambo, and someone would still talk shit about your video if it was on there. So
that's the amazing thing. Like you said, it's a breeding ground for trolls, because they always come at me with this. Like the worst comment section I ever had was when Omarosa released her book a little while ago about Trump, and I reviewed it. I was literally called a penis-headed cracker. Seriously.
Because that's cool.
I've never been called a racist so many different ways in my life, because I read her book and went, huh? What?
This sucks.
I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, if somebody cussed out the Congressional Black Caucus on the steps of 1600 Penn, it would be on CNN. It would be front-breaking news.
100%.
But she supposedly did it. And I'm like, nope, not buying it. And the comments in there, when I was deleting some, they're like, First Amendment. You can say whatever you want. You're just not free of what happens after.
Yeah, there's consequence.
Exactly. And people don't get that. It's like, oh, it's YouTube. You put up a video. It's my right to smack you around. Okay.
And you let it happen. That's what it is. It's my right to smack you around, and you have to leave it there. That's their mentality. It's like, you just got to take it, right? You know what I mean? You got to take it. You can't just, like you said, like you're deleting these because like, I don't want this shit in my fucking comment section, right? And they're like, no, First Amendment, you got to leave it up there. Like, no, I don't.
Exactly.
Like,
we'll find another channel. Bye-bye.
Exactly. Like, I don't like it. I take a like sport hunting approach to trolls with my channel. I like to, when they show up and they come at me with some bullshit, I like to pin the conversation to the top and then just shred them days until they, like, this happened yesterday with a dude. I went back and forth with him about 12.5 times, and then all of a sudden he said something. He was going to donate a bottle of whiskey to me or something. He called me like, oh, Viking Lord, and then he erased everything. So I spent the fucking hour and a half going back and forth with this guy just to watch him erase everything when he tripped over his own words. But that's how culture is nowadays. You can't criticize. Huh?
Here's a good one. It's funny because exposed a lot. Yeah. I got to give you credit for that.
Oh, they still be waiting? Yeah, it's what's crazy is you have. Here's the craziest thing. You go on Instagram, right, or YouTube, right, and a knife reviewer goes, my warranty experience with Hinderer knives, right? And they're like, it was total shit. This sucks. The knife came to me fucking dull. The bevels are off. I sent it in. They fucked it up, right? And everyone's like, yeah, you go fucking tell them. But the second I turn around and go, hey, this knife reviewer just fucking ripped a bunch of fucking people off, you got a bunch of people turning around going like, why you got to just leave it alone? Why don't you I got Patty's fuck ass. I still haven't responded to him. He made a whole video.
I was trying not to mention his name. I was really trying.
The thing is like me and Patty, I don't know if you see, like me and Patty have a history.
Yes.
So me and Patty were cool. He even sent me a gift, a keychain from Ireland, right?
It was cool. Your thumbnail for one of your videos.
Yes, exactly what it was. Feck you feckin' feck. That's what he sent me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were cool. What happened originally was Tom Hosang and Transparent Knives did a cut test video, and they completely fucked it up. So I reached out and was like, and this was at the height of when I was dealing with trying to relay to the knife community that harder steel is going to have better edge retention than softer steel.
Right.
For some reason, that wasn't like getting through to people. I went through this whole drama over it, right? Started fights with I didn't start fights, but everybody had an issue with it. Finally was beating back the hordes. Everyone was finally starting to understand it. He releases this video, which just muddies everything. So I go to Tom and I'm like, Tom, this video, you fucked this test up bad, and here's why. And he's like, man, we took so much time and so much energy, and Brian did all these heat treats and blah, blah, blah. I really don't think it's as bad as you think it is. And I'm like, cool, no problem. He's a man. He's a grown-ass man. He can take my criticism, and he stood on his results. I respect that. So then I made a video saying, this test is trash, and here's why. Patty took offense to it for whatever reason. Made a video saying that if that was his son, he'd come over and clean my clock or some shit like that. I know Tom looks like he's 12, but the dude's like 25. Like, I get it. Like, like I feel bad for him. Like, he's got tiny hands. I love you, Tom. But, I don't know. He felt like because he was younger. I don't know. So he makes this video in response to me saying how I'm this foul-mouthed bully and I'm bullying people, blah, blah, blah. Takes it down. So I'm like, whatever. I'm very old school kind of in that sense. So like when someone who's that much my senior starts barking at me, I'm 9 out of 10 times just going to walk away because they're older than me. They have a right to be grumpy. I'll probably be grumpy when I'm his age. And I've said it a million times. Me and Patty are a lot alike. I think Patty was a fucking Spitfire back in the day. I think he was a fucking Hellraiser. He's just calmed down now that he's older.
Did you catch his quote when he was calling you out?
Oh,
he had
which quote?
One thing that he put in that video that really caught my attention when he was talking about you were spurning on a riot.
Oh, yeah, the riot. I was the guy in the back.
And this is what gets me when he goes, I've lived through the Troubles. I know how riots get out of hand. And I'm like, okay, hold up. An old Irish guy who lived through that whole conflict.
From Northern Ireland.
Yeah, is talking about riots? All right, get the fucking popcorn. This is about to be good.
Exactly. And that's why I didn't go. I just let it go because I'm like, and I went and found it off my, I can't get into my original Instagram, but I did for a second. I found it. I even messaged him and was like, look, Patty, I think you're the only one upset about this. Me and Tom are okay. Me and Brian are okay. It's just two men having a difference of opinion. It's totally normal. And he was like, you're not stupid. You know just what you did. You bullied these boys. You're a piece of shit, whatever. All the best. Never answered me back after that. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Then I make a video, why I buy American and what happens when you buy Chinese.
I saw that.
Again, my opinion, right? Here's my opinion. Here's me coming out there telling you why I buy American made only. I go into it. Then out of the woodworks, here comes Patty again, flying over with this bullshit about, I would love to see you rip the phone out your wall or whatever, telling me that I'm full of shit and how dare I tell people to buy American and just totally, again, way off what I'm trying to talk about. And I'm just like, okay. Then he rips now if you watch his last video, he says he didn't mention the first video, right? Because he took the first video down that night, right? Then the second video, he took it down the next day. In his last video where he was the call to arms, that video, he said, I took that video down because Steve was harassing my subs in my comment section, right?
No, you weren't. No, you
I know
weren't.
I wasn't. So I thought it was hilarious. So
I read through the comments on all those. No, you weren't.
Yeah. So again, I went on his video when he put this other response out. And again, you got guys shitting on me in the comments. So I'm not going to let someone just sit there and shit. Like I tell people, I'm fucking like Beetlejuice on YouTube. You say my name 3 times, I pop up out of nowhere. I lurk all my friends' channels. And if I see someone talking shit, I'll just light them up, right? I see trolls. I told you, it's like sport hunting to me. I'll just start lighting them up. So I started talking shit to a couple of these guys who were like trying to just say that I'm off my rocker or whatever. And again, I forgot to I haven't put the video out yet, but I called Patty out. I said, cool, Patty, if you say I'm harassing your people, post the comments. I'm sure you still got the video. Post them. Show the whole comment, right?
Okay, Iron Wings. That's personal. I told you I got drunk one night and bought a bunch of those fuckers. I got to review them all because I bought them.
No, I'm not. Again, look. People do whatever they want to do. You know what I mean? I'm saying this was my video on why I did it, right? I don't come at people's channels and be like, hey.
If I've got it right, Patty's potato peelers.
Yep.
That's one you want to go look for.
Yeah, so I just think it's funny.
Sorry, Sober Chef, if you can actually believe it, outside the beard community, there is fucking drama.
Hold on, there's a beard community?
Oh, God, yeah.
See, I just learned something new. I didn't even know there was a beard community. I need to get into it's not quite as impressive as yours, but I need to.
Well, we're going to touch on that for a sec, but here, let's get a little bit more about you. You've mentioned a couple terms that got me wondering. You said you're in Georgia now. Are you originally from like New York, New Jersey?
No, I'm from Florida.
Really?
A lot of people ask me that, and I think it's because I'm a first generation here. My folks are from Sicily, but when they moved over to the States in like, I don't know, late 60s, early 70s, they lived in New York.
That's because the
I think a lot of people
bodega and the other stuff you talk about, it made me instantly go right to New York.
Yeah, people sometimes will say I have like a weird accent. Like it's some people think like I have like a Southern accent. Some people say they hear like a New York accent or a Jersey accent sometimes. I think it's just because my folks, that's where they learned English. So they have heavier, like more New York accents. It's like a broken English.
I get it.
It's a weird accent. So
I had to ask because like I heard you talking about, I went to the bodega, got my coffee. I'm like, fuck, he's in New York. Never would have suspected Georgia, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I've been there plenty of times. I still got family that lives up there. My grandmother's up there until recently. Yeah, I used to go up there every summer.
Family. Family.
Yeah, family. Yeah. Good family.
Let's hop in the Wayback Machine for a moment because I like to get a little bit of like background. What made you pick up that camera for that first time and go, fuck it, let's do a YouTube video?
So there's a dude on Instagram. He actually has a channel called Sharp Thinking, Elliot.
Okay.
I posted a couple like random videos of me like getting a knife, like hair whittling sharp and whittling some hair.
Right.
Just because I felt like doing it. I was never on any social media. I was working in the kitchen all day, enough time. And he randomly popped up on a video and was like, "Hey man, you should make some videos." And he was like, "You should make more videos."
The long range.
Yes.
Long range.
That's my man right there. The Lone Ranger. Yes, I'm Florida. Yeah, Lone Ranger's the man. Yeah, I'm Florida man. Exactly. I'm literally the embodiment of Florida man.
Perfect sense.
It all makes sense now, right? When I do dumb shit.
Yeah, as long as you're not trying to have sex with an alligator, you're fine.
Yeah, no, we just pull them out. I pulled them out of lakes before when I was a kid. with trucks. Yeah. Literally, we had our rival high school where I'm from in Stuart, Florida, South Fork High School. Literally put like a 7-foot gator in our swimming pool one year. Yeah, a lot of gators. But yeah, I just was doing I did that, and he said that, and I was like, oh, cool, I got a friend. And I was like, well, if I got one guy that'll like want to see me make a video, and I kept thinking about this idea for a while about doing those videos to test.
Yeah.
I was like, well, if I got one guy that would listen to it, right, then it's worth it. And that was Elliot was really the reason that I did it. I had a friend, and I was like, all right, why not? And then it just, like I said, that first video, I woke up the next morning to like a message from Elliot going, dude, your video's blowing up. And it had like 500 views. And I'm like, how the fuck do I have 500 views on a video? I didn't understand how YouTube worked.
Right.
And then what actually happened was Vinny was friends with Pete from Sednata.
Okay.
And he showed the video to Pete. And then Pete was like, hey, I like this guy. And then Pete put it up on his Instagram and stuff. It was like, hey, new YouTube tester, go check this guy out. And then within like a week, I had like 100 subs, and I was like, "Oh shit!" There's 100 people staring at me. Like, I gotta make good on this now, right? I can't just do one video and talk shit. Like, I gotta actually do something. And then I went on like a fucking tear for like a year and a half, just every weekend trying to put out a video after video after video. And that's how it started, my illustrious YouTube career.
And that's what kills me is like in the beginning, my first video that I did was on a fucking book about how to pack a bug out bag by Creek Stewart. I filmed it on my iPad. Had no clue what I was doing, and it was very militaristic. Like, I am Chris. I am the president and the CEO of the company to be named later. This book costs you $18. It has this many pages. 600 views in a weekend. And I was like, well, that's because I hit it like right when that book dropped and everybody was looking for it. And I'm like, how fucking hard is this YouTube shit? What is everyone bitching about? And then
I got this.
Yeah, then you start making videos and you go, 10 views. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, well, what happened? Like, I thought I was onto something here.
Yeah.
This is a cakewalk. I'll be making 1 million views in a week.
And it's like when you watch, God, this is the only way I can put it, is when you watch your tribe develop, like those people who watch your stuff and comment your stuff a lot. I mean, there's like Chris Rayner in here. He's been with me since maybe under 100. You know, he remembers like the bad days.
The early days, yeah. I think if you look at anybody's YouTube, because it's awkward talking to an iPad or talking to a phone, being like, all right, I'm just gonna fucking look at this thing in my room or wherever and talk to it like there's people there, right? Like, if there's no one there, it's just fucking you. So it's like your first videos are definitely more subdued, and they're always like kind of robotic because you're just trying to get through the video and not fucking shit yourself, not sound stupid.
Well, and that's what kills me is for the longest time, I had this dry personality because I'm like, all right, let me get you the information. And in the beginning with my blade, the knives, I didn't even do a cut test. My videos on blades were like 3 minutes long. And then people were like, dude, put a cut test. We need to see how sharp it is. Because you've seen most people do it when they're like, okay, here's the blade. Oh, yeah, that's sharp.
Nice and sharp. That'll do you good.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, how the hell can I prove that? So, that started getting out. And then people were like, dude, put Amazon links. Okay.
Done.
Yeah, it's like,
watch people come.
Yeah, it's like, thanks for all this feedback. And it's, yeah, see, there he goes. Chris, I remember those early videos and those comments because some people just got to roast someone because they didn't like the video. Yeah.
The negative for it.
I mean, dude, I had a guy comment the other day. He goes, I was going to comment and roast the fuck out of you because you're a low subscriber count. I'm like, fuck you. I crossed 5,000. I'm happy. I never thought I'd get to 100, let alone 1K.
It's like, you try it. That's my thing with everybody. I get these trolls, right? I'll get, again, because I'm doing the testing, right? I get all the fucking wannabe, like, science nerds, right? Keyboard scientists. And they're like, well, your test isn't technically, blah, blah. So, again, it real quick. It's real easy. I'm like, okay, cool. Make a video and post it. I'll fucking blast it to everybody. What? Yeah, bro, you got a phone, right? Everyone's got a fucking phone, right? Yeah, cool. Make a goddamn, you can see my videos are low quality as fuck. Make a goddamn video, prove me wrong, put it up, and I'll repost it to the whole world and prove everyone you're wrong. Silence.
Isn't it funny how that happens?
Yeah, because people don't understand the balls it takes to put yourself out there to the public, to sit there and make a video for the entire world to fucking take a crack at.
And I mean, crap, the most successful thing I think I've ever done on my channel is what I call Mr. Ratchet Strap. Part of my cut tests.
Yeah.
Seriously, little ratchet strap from Walmart. You buy 4 in a kit for $10.
Yeah.
Simple cut test. And everyone's leaving comments like, man, I met Gunny Ratchet Strap back in Nam and he helped save my life. And other people are like, why are you calling him Mr.? How do you know his gender is a male? I'm like, oh my God, here we go.
You get those? Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, but these guys are comical when they're doing it.
Okay, we're joking.
Yeah, Bill Rivers was in here earlier, and one of my cut tests is paracord. Simple pull test and a slice test. Lately, with this batch that I've had, it's now been renamed the struggle test.
This is the real. These are made out of what fucking vibranium, right? Whatever the fucking Captain America shield's made out of.
Military grade 550. I'm like, big fucking deal. It's got a sheath and 7 internal strands. Cool. And when you're pulling on it, you're like, God damn it, come on.
you gotta have a fucking edge on it, right? Like,
oh, dude, it's funny. Sometimes, like, it goes through quick, and I'm not ready for it, so I'll smack the camera, and I'm like, well, fuck.
Just took a chunk out of the camera. It's fine.
Yeah, see, there he is, Bill, still here. And that's the guy. He has some good comments, but I just, I know, Mitch. I still have to give 2 away. I literally got so pissed off at a test in a video. I went, that's it, screw it. Best comment wins a piece of Mr. Ratchet Strap. I'll autograph it and attach it to a card.
Fabled piece of Mr. Ratchet Strap.
Yeah, seriously. These are the 2 I'm giving away, sitting right here.
That's fucking awesome. That's so rad.
So, all right. You got your channel, got it rolling. At what point do you think you actually made it? Because every YouTuber goes through that thing where you're like, view counts are going up, view time's going up. What is that point for you, bro, that you went, shit, I can do this?
From the get-go, because of that first video, like I was, it's a unique situation. Like I did that with zero intention. And then that first video, again, it's YouTube, right? Like you don't expect,
right?
Again, I have no such, like I have none. I had like 1, right? It was my fiance maybe, right? Like when I just made the channel. And then it was that first video. When that first video just happened, Vinny to happen to see it. And I wake up and there's 500 views on a video. And I'm like, who the fuck is watching this? Right? Like, I'm like, what? I'm like, huh? It doesn't even make sense. And then he reaches out to me on Instagram and I'm like, oh shit. And I kind of get brought into this world. That was kind of it. I was like, okay, there's people.
Yeah, we're going to talk to him later. Don't worry about that, Dan. We're going to get him squared away.
He's a guy with a good beard. Yeah, that's what it was. It was just that first one where, because it was the response is what it was. It was people. There were the majority of the comments were we need something like this. And then I started looking through stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, I see. Like, there's these guys review bushcraft, and there's guys that review kitchen knives, and there's guys that review some Chinese manufacturer. There's some guys that only do, and I'm like, okay, there's only a couple people doing these tests. Well, obviously they take a long fucking time to do, and they're fucking obnoxious. They take fucking forever. So I'm like, oh, I get it. So I was like, okay, well, Pete's the only guy I found that was doing the test, and he was doing rope, and I did cardboard specifically, so it would be different, right? It was just another thing to compare it to, and I thought it was a little more common that most guys rip open boxes at work as opposed to like cutting through manila rope. Not knocking Pete's test. I'm just saying, like, I thought that was more applicable here. Maybe in Australia they cut a lot of rope. I don't know. So I was like, once I got that first video, and then I got all those responses to people saying, "Hey, this is awesome! Like, do more of these." Right. And then I was like, "Okay, I can do this." Like, there's never been anything like most people. Like, if there's anything you've ever actually set your mind to, you do it. Like, I think most people are like that. If you actually, anytime you fail at something, if you really take a deep look, you're not really giving it your all. You know what I mean? Like, you might be kind of giving it your all, but like, if you really give something your all, you're going to succeed at it. You know what I mean? It may take a while, and you may have to fall down a bunch of fucking times, but if you get up enough, you'll start catching traction, and it'll start happening. You may not be the best in the world at it, but you'll be able to do it.
And it makes me wonder, because like after my first video, I took 6 months off. I didn't film another video for 6 months.
You just mic dropped it. You're like, all right, I'm out. Fuck y'all.
And then I came back, and I'm like, all right, the struggle begins.
Yeah.
And I was monetized way back when with YouTube. I literally remember seeing total earnings 1 penny.
Just 1 penny. You're like, yeah,
1 penny.
It's fucking profitable.
Because until the Paul brothers did their dumb shit, and we had the adpocalypse and the 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch time, all you needed was 1,000 views, and you would be monetized.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Yep, that's what it was way back when. My channel's been monetized twice. And I remember literally, we went to the store to go shopping, came home, checked out a video, I went, fuck, there's an ad rolling. And then when you look at, your dashboard the next day, estimated earnings, 1 penny. I was like, fuck yeah,
I've made it. I am all that is man. I have conquered YouTube. I've now made a profitable YouTube channel.
I remember 1 penny. I seriously remember that. I've got the screenshot, and it's on a frame downstairs on the wall.
You're like,
I made 1 penny. Right there.
It's like when you open a business, you like frame your first $1. You're like, that's the first YouTube earning right there.
1 penny. And I've been like, yeah.
Boom. It's like that moment.
Then they came through and wiped everything out, and it was like, fuck.
Really? So you were monetized and had to remonetize?
Yes.
Wow, that's fucking lame.
It was really sad, because like they're like, well, you can stay in the partner program, and if you ever get to that point later on, it's only going to help accelerate you being monetized. And I'm like, yeah, that's a fucking lie, because when I hit the 1,000 and 4,000, they were like, we need to take a further look into your channel to make sure you're not reusing anybody's content. I'm like, I do knife reviews, beard shit, and I talk about my kids. So if anyone wants to talk about my kids, have fun.
Like, this is why I fucking hate YouTube. Like, I hate YouTube. The powers that be. I don't hate YouTube. Like, the idea is a great idea, but I hate the powers that be at YouTube. Because like you see with like Metal Complex, you know what I mean? Like, he's been demonetized 3 times now for what? Because they don't like it. Because a bunch of fucking 18-year-olds at a desk don't like it.
And that's what kills me, where now everybody's videos, whether you're in the partner program or not, they're monetized. So you have someone with 3 subscribers going, I've got ads, I'm making money. And you're like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Nope.
It's exactly. Yep. That's the reason. That was the big reason for me to get off of YouTube, because I never monetized my channel. Right. I was like, I'm just doing this because, this is just me being hard-headed. I was like, mainly because I didn't think anything was going to come out of it, to be honest with you. I was like, there's no point. Like, what's the point of monetizing, right?
Yeah.
So it was also me like I'm going to, like, because because it was testing, right? And I already had enough people breathing down my neck about me being fair and me being honest and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool. Right. Won't make a dime off of it right here. It's just, I have nothing to gain from this. I'm just doing this for the love of it, for the community. Like, I'm not making a dime off of it, period, right? It's just, here you go, right? No problem. Then when I got that was recent. That was this year where they updated the partner program, right? It was this year, last year or something?
About 3 years ago.
Was it 3 years ago? Because they redid it again, though. I got another notification.
Yeah, the thing they do now is you have to have 2-step authentication on your account, and you cannot have any community strikes. Those are the 2 new things that they've added.
Okay. See, because when the last one came up, the way I read it, maybe just because I didn't read it the first time, but the way I read it was, we could put ads on your channel and don't have to pay you.
Yeah.
And I was like,
if you're not in the partner program, everybody has ads. Everybody has them now.
Yeah, see, I was like, oh, fuck you. I was like, no way again, not that I actually think anybody would want to advertise on my channel of all, right? But I was like, there's no way on God's green earth I'm letting these motherfuckers make a dime off me without paying me. I was like, fuck these guys. That was my big thing where I was like, I'm moving everything to somewhere else. Fuck you. Fuck you. That's basically it. I was just like, you're not making money and I'm not making money. Like, this is not going to be a one-sided romance.
I think that's how that video that you did about that went. Fuck you, YouTube. Fuck you, YouTube. Oh, yeah, and fuck you, too.
Yeah, it was just, you know what I mean? I was just like, yeah. Like the last one I did, where I was telling everybody to go to...
Yeah, go to Rumble or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, I was moving myself to Rumble, yeah. I just didn't want to... It was eek in the back of my head. I was like, I'm sure there aren't any ads, but what if there are? I was like, what if there's like a fucking Sasquatch soap commercial on there, and somebody buys it, and I don't get paid? It's like, fuck these guys.
And that's the funny part, is if ads are rolling on YouTube and they see like Dr. Squatch, which is just funny because that's their company mascot, is a Sasquatch.
Yeah.
So if they click on that ad and go purchase, you get paid more than if they just watch like 6 seconds and went skip ad.
Oh, you get more money. Okay, that makes sense. They actually like engage in it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, fuck those guys.
But now let's flip over to something a little bit different that I do on my channel. One of the big things that I do, and I think it's really important for you being a chef, is we talk about mental health. Because I think as guys, we have this massive stigma about you need to be big, you need to be burly, you're not allowed to break down. Oh, you got a problem? Quit being a bitch, man the fuck up and move forward. Where you're like, dude, I need like 5 minutes. Give me a fucking break. You know, and you being a chef and rising through the ranks, you have seen all kinds of weird shit go on in that kitchen. Now, I ask this from everybody. How do you center yourself and get yourself under control? Legal methods only. Remember, this is live.
So it's funny. You're a vet, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So it's funny. So the type of restaurants I worked in growing up were predominantly fine dining and French fine dining. So, yeah. So I know it's weird, right? Me. No,
I'm just saying, because most people, when they talk about chefs and starting their career, you're talking like a Denny's, Red Robin, you know, those kind of fast food things, and moving up through there.
Oh, I worked at, my first job was, the reason I started cooking was I got a job shucking oysters at a place called Conky Joe's in Jensen Beach, Florida. Just literally shucking oysters. Yeah. And I looked out, and I got there, and I was looking at the guys that were cooking, and they were a bunch of like just degenerate, tattooed, burly, ugly looking motherfuckers that were slinging out all this food and doing drugs and drinking alcohol and banging all these super hot waitresses. And I was like, I can't play an instrument, so that's the closest thing to a rock star I can do. I can cook food and do that. And that's like, I didn't have like some passion for food. It was like, I want to get paid to drink beer and have sex with waitresses. That's what I want to do with my life. I'm okay with that. You need
motivation. There you go. You know?
Yeah. So, and the reason I asked you if you're a vet was because, so the way a line is set up, the way a restaurant is actually set up is actually based off of, it's called a brigade system because it's based off the French military. Okay. So a guy by the name of Escoffier he revolutionized the way a restaurant worked about 200 years ago because he was, back then everybody served in the military. He got out and he established the kitchen the same way for efficiency. So there were no doubling of dishes. Everybody had a defined role. So the kitchen, especially French kitchen, is very militaristic. It's super duper. That's why you see a lot of vets, young guys that come back, end up cooking because they want something. They usually want something that's less stressful because they like cooking, and then they get a kitchen. They realize it's just another fucking clusterfuck of stress is what always ends up happening. Which is a lot of, again, I got my brother and sister are both in the Navy. A lot of my friends are Marines. So I worked with a lot of guys in the military. So it fits very well. This is probably why I gel pretty well with guys in the service, because we all kind of have like that dark humor.
Yes.
Not that being in a kitchen is anything close to being on a battlefield, but there's that dark humor. There's a lot of self-medicating. There's a lot of, like you said, mental health struggles and stuff.
Yep.
So with that, I always tell people that the professional kitchen, do you remember that claymation? It was I think a Christmas story where the elf wants to be a dentist.
Oh yeah, Rudolph.
Rudolph? Is it Rudolph? Yeah.
God, I can't remember his name, but yeah. I
know what I'm talking about?
I remember the dentist you're talking about.
Yeah, so you know when he goes to the land of broken toys to fix them? That's what I call the kitchen. The kitchen's the land of broken toys. So all the guys and girls that like can't work a 9 to 5 because they're either drug addicts or night owls or love stressful environment or whatever, end up in a professional restaurant because it's very high stress, very high speed, very, everything's got to be perfect. It's very physically demanding.
His name is Hermie.
Hermie. What's up, Hermie?
Hey, give him his moment, okay? He's rolling. Just give him his moment.
Misfit Toys. Sorry, yes, the island of Misfit Toys. Misfit, broken, whatever. Say, you get the gist. It's the island of Misfit Toys, yeah. So being in that industry, yeah, man, there's a lot. And again, so you got to say, my father and mother from Sicily. My parents have green cards. I'm first generation here. So I grew up with my father was a baker. So he worked nights and was home during the day, or slept during the day, really.
Right.
So my father is like 5'3" of fuck you, pay me. He's like, you ever seen the movie Casino?
Yes.
He's Joe Pesci, like, to a fucking T. He's just small and pissed off and will fight in an empty room. Like, and that's probably where I get a lot of it from. So, I grew up in that kind of a household for a little while. I was on my own at 15. And then growing up in the restaurant industry is another very hostile environment. So you see a lot, again, so the whole mental health thing, again, of being a man, I was obsessed with, believe it or not, when I was a kid, I was obsessed with physics and I was like a nerd. Yeah, I was in all these, I was a very nerdy kid. I was scrawny. I was short. I got beat up a lot.
I just can't see you as Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory. I just can't,
dude,
man.
Dude, I got called Steve Urkel like my entire childhood. Which, looking back on it, I was like, the dude's black and I'm white, but whatever. I didn't wear glasses, but yeah. So it was yeah. So, and I got picked on and beat up a lot, and I just, I am the way I am because I made myself that way. So I dealt with a lot of that. When you're in those kind of like hyper macho environments, right? So when I was at home, I grew up in this like uber macho environment. Like, I remember my old man like cold cocking me off a chair one time because I got my ass kicked again in school because he was calling me a pussy. Like straight like, I'm pretty sure I got knocked out. Like, he just reached across that table and just bow, like closed fist. I don't think I was like 7. Bam. So I grew up, again, very macho kind of environment. Then you go to the kitchen, which is also like a hyper macho environment, probably why I went there, right? Because it was familiar and it's like, I don't know, I'm a glutton for pain, I guess. And, so dealing with mental health is like, it's a weird thing to talk about nowadays because, like, I agree really, really wholeheartedly with what you just said. And I try to be real specific with the things I say in regards to mental health because just like a lot of things nowadays, people throw that word around way too much. And Patty really, really, usually Patty makes me laugh when he talks shit about me, but he really pissed me off in that last video because he brought up Brian saying that he was depressed. And then he linked it together and said, you don't know if he's dealing with depression. And I was just like, how fucking dare you? I know people, and I know people with real mental health issues that deal with it. And people with mental health issues don't fucking steal from people. They don't steal from people. They don't rob people. They're normal fucking people who have issues to deal with. So I got really pissed off because I'm like, don't use that. First off, when you do that, you water it down. For the people that deal with it, like actual mental health, you water it down when you throw it around like that. You make it just an everyday word when it's not. It should be taken with the level of brevity, right? People want to talk about it. They need to be able to talk about it. I feel like it's being heard. And then secondly, to try to blame someone being a scumbag on a mental health issue is like you're slandering an entire group of people that have an actual issue, right? Because I know people that came back from that sandbox missing pieces of their mind, and those people don't cheat people. They don't steal from people. They're good people. They're very good people. They're people that I would dig ditches for. They're guys that I would break backs for, and it is nothing to do with their mental health. Why they would do something wrong like that. So I'm real careful when I talk about mental health because it's like I grew up in that environment. Like I cultivated that environment. I'm sure I was the cause of mental strife to a lot of guys because it was.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm not laughing at you. It's just I get it. Yeah,
I think that's like a first part. A lot of people got to realize, like, when you working my way from, like I said, shucking oysters to being an executive chef, right? It's cutthroat, right? And it's kill or be killed kind of stuff in a lot of situations. Yeah. And when you're in that, we all come from that like super hyper macho shit. You just do the same thing, right? Because it was done to you, so you do on to the next. So because I grew up in a situation with my old man, knocking my teeth out because I put too much jelly on an Eggo waffle, and then going to a kitchen where I had chefs throwing pans at me, like with hot risotto in them and fucking vegetables and oil because I fucked up a dish. Like, so when you get in that position, then you just feel the need to shit on the next guy, right? Like you just want to do the same shit,
You pass it on right down the line.
You just like, I bequeath unto you all the shit that I have born.
That's what I was looking for. It's like a rite of
passage. Exactly. 100%. It's like I have to be like that motherfucker now, right? Like I'm the motherfucker now. I got to be the guy to deal with. Like I just spent 10 years getting kicked in the teeth. Now it's time for me to knock some teeth out, right? Which is wrong. You don't want that, So I take responsibility for definitely being that guy,
whoa,
especially.
Hold on. What? Because people with mental health issues are all scumbags? No. That's not what he's saying. Not what he's saying. Not what he's saying.
I think he knows what I mean. I'm saying the opposite of that is what I'm trying to say. The opposite. Yeah. People with mental health are good people. They don't know to blame somebody's shitty actions on their mental health. Just like pisses me off to no end. Like it's so disrespectful. Like to try to blame someone's bad actions on that. Because like I said, I know plenty of people with actual mental health issues, and they don't do bad things. They're good people. You know what I mean?
I just wanted to make sure because the way I read it, bro, I wasn't sure. So no harm, no foul, brother.
So it's like
I get it. Seriously, I do with what's been going on with you. So if you snap every so often, no one's gonna judge you, bro. Nobody.
Hey, you don't know exactly, and that's one of the things is like I don't know how to say it. Like I'm a pretty tough. I don't even want to say it like that because that makes it sound like other people aren't tough. I'm somebody. I dealt. When you grow up, right? Like one of the biggest factors in whether somebody's gonna be successful or not is whether they have a father in their life or a father figure, right?
Yes. Unfortunately, yes.
It's the truth, right? I don't care what anybody says. I think that's the biggest problem with this country right now is a lack of fathers, a lack of men.
Good male role models. Yes.
100%. I think that's why the state attacks masculinities because they don't want strong men. So I grew up in a household with, like I'm not gonna like I made peace with like my old man was a bit over the top. You know what I mean? Physically and mentally. So growing up with that, as a teenager, being on my own at 15, like I had to, but when you're 15, people, that happens, right? When you're 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, you have suicidal thoughts. You don't think you're worth anything. I'm in a kitchen where people are beating on me all the time, telling me, I remember at 24, I'm 34 right now. I remember when I was 24, my daughter was on her way. I was in Georgia. Knew nobody up here, took the job on a whim. And I remember I was an executive sous chef, and I remember my chef, Lorenzo, pulling me aside because he walked in that day, and I'll never forget it. He went looking around, and in the dry storage where the onions were, some onion peels had fallen on the ground.
Yeah.
After we had cleaned up, and he came in there, and he's like, "You see that?" He's like, "You don't give a fuck about this place." And I was like, "Over an onion peel?" And he's like, and this, I'll never forget this. He looked at me and he's like, "You don't have the integrity to be a chef." And then walked away. And no bullshit, I cried. I was like, "What am I going to do?" Like, I put all my eggs in this basket. I was like, I got a daughter on the way. I got a pregnant fiance, what am I going to do? And I remember I was like, but you got to pull yourself out of that. And fortunately I did. But I think I'm really bad when it comes to this because I internalize a lot of stuff, but I think the best thing to do, the best way I deal with those kind of things is making a tribe. I surround myself with as many strong men as I can. Like, I find people that are not just that are like-minded. It doesn't mean they believe in everything I believe in or agree with me. I try to find people that
surround yourself with yes men. No offense, you're just a piece of crap.
Exactly.
Because you want to sit there like, look at me. I surround myself with people who will challenge me, push me, knock my dick in the dirt if I need it. But also, when I've had down days, I give them a call and they're like, "What the fuck? Oh, okay, dude, talk. Let's talk. What the hell is going on?"
Exactly. And that's something that I think, and a big part of that where I learned that was I got into boxing in my early 20s, and then I started doing some mixed martial arts, and it was my jiu-jitsu coach, my jiu-jitsu studio that I went to, where I learned that. That was a big thing that I tell a lot of guys to do, to get into that, because there's a lot of give and a lot of take. And when you go there, I don't care, any jiu-jitsu school worth its salt, like you're surrounded by a bunch of alpha males, like a bunch of, like, and I mean that in the most serious sense, like, these are real guys that can really fuck you up, and they don't, or they do. And you really quickly understand what it's like. Like, you remember the movie Fight Club?
Mm-hmm.
And after he gets in that first fight, he's at the office and the girl's talking and he can't hear her, and he's like, the volume gets turned down. That happens when you start engaging in that kind of physicality with other men. Everything gets turned down. Like, there's something that I got and I bonded with other guys with from physically getting beat up, basically, right? Like, but in a very controlled way, to where you're like, this guy knows the best of me and this guy knows the worst of me, so I can open up to this guy.
And it's also one of those aspects that when you go in those and start to train, if you walk in like you have the biggest dick in the gym, they're going to beat the fuck out of you for fun.
They're going to put it in the dirt every time.
If you go in there and you're humble and you want to learn and you show respect, you will get respect back. You will get a better, God, this is going to sound so fucked up, you'll get a better experience than if you walk in there like, "Fuck, I watch Jackie Chan. I got this shit."
100%.
You know,
that's how I walked in there. I mean, I'm a scrappy kid from Florida. Like, I've been in a bazillion goddamn bar fights, right? I could start a fight in an empty room. And then I was like, yeah, man, I could totally box. And then I was 20? And then I got my fucking face beat in by a 16-year-old from the police athletic league. And I was like, wow, that's fucking humiliating. That's fucking terrifying. I just got my clock cleaned in about 30 seconds by this kid. But I think, to me, with mental health, I think the way I deal with it is physicality. I think a lot of guys need to, I think finding something for that, like, be it weightlifting, be it jiu-jitsu, be it boxing, be it some sort of physical endeavor to focus on is to me has been like life-saving, to be honest with you. Like, I just got back in the gym about a year and a half ago, and it's my entire life's done, like, my mental health has done a 180 on that because I have that outlet again.
Well, you're the second guy I know. Like in the beard community, we have somebody who basically went gorilla mode forever and a day until he got his ass back in the gym. And once that happened and he started to lift, he started to do all kinds of stuff, 180 different. You know, just having that outlet, having that thing. And this is something that I preach all the time. You've got to take some time for yourself every single day. And if it's just put in headphones and listen to a really loud song, go for a run, do push-ups, do sit-ups, sharpen blades. Just get out of your head for a little bit and clear the mechanism. Because if
100%.
you don't, those demons start to stack up and they come at you all hours of the day, and little things that will never ever piss you off. All of a sudden now I'm going to stab a motherfucker. You know,
it's the truth, man. I saw his name Jordan Peterson. You seen that guy?
Yes.
Yeah. So I saw him say something one time that just like totally struck a chord with me, and it made me feel like I wasn't crazy.
You be good, Eric. Take care, brother.
Rock and roll, man. And he said something. He's like, you know, being like, in essence, like being a man isn't about being soft or being docile. It's about being a motherfucking monster, but knowing how to keep that monster in the cage and when to let it out. And when he said that to me, because he's an intellectual, right? That guy's like a fucking philosopher. When I'm looking at this guy, this fucking egg-headed fucking philosopher from Canada, and when he said that, I think he was talking to Jocko Willink, he said that, I was like, wow. I was like, I'm not fucking crazy. Like, I'm not crazy. Like that, because I think all of us as men, like you said, there's that rage on the inside. There's that anger. There's that primal part of us, right? That we don't get a chance to exercise on a daily basis. Like, I tell people this all the time. The difference between like Cro-Magnon man number one and us in 10,000 years or a million years worth of evolution ain't that fucking different. Okay.
Right.
Like I tell people all the time, like I look like a goddamn Neanderthal. Okay. Like there's not a lot of difference between, or even 500 years ago. You know what I mean? Like there's not a lot of difference. Society has changed dramatically in the last 50 years, 40 years, 30 years in my lifetime, but we're still men. And there's that part of us, you know what I mean? Like it's, you have to find a way to exercise those demons because we all have them. You know what I mean? Like part of the way I exercise those demons is I just say it. Like I put it out there. Like you said, you just like tell people, you're like, yo, I've been to jail and yada, yada. And I've, done wrong thing. I have to do that. I had to get that out. I have to tell people that because if that stays inside of me, then it's internal. I say it out loud. I look at it in the mirror and I deal with it. And I'm like, you fucked up. You fucked up all these times.
I've used that method as well. There's mornings where my kids think I'm going insane in the bathroom because I will look at myself in that mirror and go, all right, you fucked this bad. Now, how are you going to unfuck yourself? No, You're not going to do that. You're going to get here. You're going to do that, and I've written down things before going, this is what I have to do. And one of the greatest things ever I've done in my life is I basically have 3 kids. 2, they're not mine. I didn't make them, but I damn sure created them.
They're still yours.
My boy, exactly. My boy, when I first met him, because of all the fucking idiots before me, he thought it was comical to punch his mother in the stomach. That's how I met him. I walked in, he turns around, and he says, hi, mommy, wham. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because, I was raised in an Irish Catholic household. You don't beat your better half because she may blow up your car, kill you with fruit, or, a blade.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He reared back that second time. I put him on the ground. And I'm like, you don't ever. And I'm like, I just cost myself a relationship. Shit.
Like, she's about to kill me now.
Pretty much. But it's so funny since I came into his life and got to reshape him, how much his family loves being around him right now. Before, they wanted nothing to do with him. And I'm not talking about taking him outside and Brazilian jiu-jitsu and I'm going to pound you into the ground. It's like, you can't do this. If you do this, you're going to have consequences. And that's the one thing that I fucking hate. I think it goes hand in hand with mental health in this thing. I get we can have a bad day. Okay? Everybody has them. Anybody who says, no, my life is all sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns, you're a motherfucking liar. If you fuck up, you have to own it. and you have to try to correct it. If you can't, that's on you. It's not because, oh, well, you know, that chick didn't give me her number and, well, my head's not good, so I'm going to punch this dude over here. No. You know? No.
No, 100%. It's owning that. I mean, that's what good has ever come out of anybody's life from happy times, right? Like it's where you fuck up is where you learn something about yourself, right? It's like it's when your friend calls you on some shit, or you do something really wrong to someone, like you hurt somebody, and you learn something from that because now you just lost a relationship with someone, friend, girlfriend, whatever, and you go, wow, that was on me. Now you can take one of two roads. You can go, that was them, or you can internalize and go, I'm somebody who just I try to just take responsibility for everything, right? I just assume it's my fault, right?
Right.
Because I had a chef tell me one time. It was during a service, and again, this is Steve early as a chef, right? Like I think it was my first time being executive chef, so the entire restaurant is on my shoulders, right? And I'm 25, I think, right? And I got a baby at home, and there's a lot of pressure. And again, I don't have. I haven't seen recently. I have, but at that time, I hadn't seen my parents in 10 years. I hadn't seen family, and like I've been on my own a long time, right? So I don't have anybody like bounce shit off of. So I just got all this pressure, and I'm just, server says something, and I just fucking lash at her. Or no, I'm sorry, I was a sous chef, and I just lashed out at her because she asked a stupid fucking question, and she's totally deserved it to this day. And he afterward he pulls me aside, and he's like, "Yo, what the fuck was that?" And I was like, "What the fuck was that? Why don't you go ask her dumbass what the fuck that was?" And he's like, "Steve, you're responsible for your emotions. Nobody else." He's like, I don't care if somebody walks up, punches you right in the mouth. It's your decision whether you get mad about it or not. And I was like, what the fuck? I thought he was fucking crazy. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, you are responsible for your emotions. The outside world can do whatever it wants. It's your responsibility whether you react to it, how you react to it. And it hit me like a fucking ton of bricks because it sucked, because at that moment, from that point on, I couldn't not think about that. And from that point on, I realized it was all my fault. Like, that's how I looked at it. I was like, no matter what happens, how I react to it is completely my fucking fault. Like, I couldn't argue with his there was no his logic was sound. When he said that, I was like, fuck me. What am I going to say? Agreed.
100%. If you mess up the same way again, you're not trying. I agree.
100%. Yeah. Growing up is not making that mistake twice.
I ask my kids that all the time when they screw up. They always know if they screwed something up, be truthful with me. Your punishment's going to be a lot less. If you actually make me laugh with your fuck up, you're not getting punished. But I want to know what you learned from it, Yeah.
I want you to say it. I want you to put it in the universe and go, this is what I did. Acknowledge it. You own it. There's that ownership, like I did this. You know what I mean? I had another chef that did this, caught me way off guard. I worked super fucking hard. That's actually where this tattoo came from, this Rooftop tattoo. I beat out 3 other guys in a, kind of, you ever seen that show Chopped with the mystery basket?
Yes.
Kind of like that. Like, he handed it, I show up for a job interview with my knife roll, and there's 3 other guys in it. And he's like, here, boom, 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 you have an hour. You have an hour. Show me what you can do. And I was like, beat all those guys for the job. And I think it was maybe the first night I was working for him. So I'm a sous chef. I'm just watching what's going on. No, maybe it was the second night. I'm running saute station. I'm doing that. And I go to bring something up. And he's like, yo, Steve, come here. I'm like, what? And he's like, is this the absolute best you can do? And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, I'm just asking, is this the absolute best you can do? And all of a sudden it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like,
I get where he's going.
That's the heaviest fucking question anybody could ask you. So it was like, either, yes, this is the best I can do, and he might just rip my head off, or no, it's not the best, and he's going to look at me like, why the fuck did you bring it? And it hit me all at once. I was like, fuck.
He set you up to fail with that question.
He set me up right. That was it. He set me up right there. It was do or die. And I was like, fuck. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, all right, then I know what to expect from you. And that fucked with my head for weeks. I'm like, what does that mean? What does he mean he knows what to expect? Was that good? Was that bad? Like, he never let me in on it, So once he did that, I knew from just that one time, that one instance, that every single fucking time I said something that passed, it was goddamn perfect. I don't give a fuck if the restaurant was on fire. Goddamn, that fish was coming out perfect every fucking time. Because if he was going to ask me, is this your best? I had to have an answer for it. So I do that with my daughter. When she does something, when she's like doing her math homework or she's doing an art project, she's like, what do you think about it? I go, is that your absolute best? And the first time I did it to her, I had like this, I almost cried. I had this revelation. All of a sudden she did it. She looks at me and she's like, no, let me do it again. And I was like, oh my God, oh fuck. I'm like, what? Did I just crush her? What did I just do? And she's a little girl, right? So she gives zero fucks about what anybody thinks. Oh. So she was like, you're right. Hold on. And she goes back to do it. And I was like, did I just scar her? Because like, to me, it was like traumatic when the chef did that. But for her, she was like, good point, Dad. And went back to it and started like touching up her little, like, changing her handwriting because it was all scratchy. And that's, again, another thing that I live by is like, is this your absolute best? I think that to myself every day, like in every aspect of my life, is every situation that happens. Like, again, and I'm not fucking perfect. Like I fly off the handle. Right. I do stupid shit. I yell at people when I shouldn't. Like all that happens to me on a weekly fucking basis like everybody else. When it happens, I ask myself, is that the best you could have done? And if the answer is no, then I need to be better the next time.
Okay, well, until you get to my level of being drunk in a live feed and showing off sex toys, we can talk. That's a true story, bro.
Great. That's awesome. Get hammered and show off fucking sex toys. That's fucking awesome. Oh, I wish I was there for that.
Yeah, I lost an affiliate over that one. I don't blame him. That phone call the next morning was awkward as fuck going, we need to talk. I'm like what's wrong? What's wrong? I'm like, what did I do? They're like, go watch that video. Call me back.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, then I called him back. He was like, so I got to pull your code. I'm like, I completely understand. Thank you.
Totally understand. You have a good day. Click.
Pretty much,
Not even going to argue with you on that one.
Thankfully, we're still on really good speaking terms. We've had a little rocky road, but we're still good. But we're coming up on a point where I got to hit a wrap up because it's getting later on here, and I got to get my kids calmed down, get them into bed because they have school tomorrow. Now, I do this at the end of every show. I throw a challenge out there for everybody. It's real simple. Especially with COVID going on and the fact that, I said the C word. I don't care. The Rona, I don't care. It's still there. What variant are we going to have? If the Delta variant doesn't work, are we going to have the monkey butt virus? Are we going to have like the fish crawling out of the sea and spitting at you virus? People have lost a lot of that social interaction. Everybody's really standoffish and everybody kind of pushes some people away. But this is what I challenge everybody to. And it goes perfectly with mental health. Take time this week and call 3 people. 3 that you don't talk to on the regular. If you can't do 3, do 2. Can't do 2, do 1. And just go, how are you? Because you will never believe how that phrase can change a person's life. I throw that challenge out there every single week because it's really simple. Especially nowadays where you've got Zoom, you've got Instagram live feeds, you got Facebook live feeds, you got every other live feed under the sun. Get a hold of somebody and just, how are you?
I love that, man. Like, cheers to that. That's heavy. I mean, how many people are in your life or in your phone that you don't check up on, right? Like, because life's busy, right? We're all busy, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's in the rat race. I happily accept that challenge.
And I mean, this is the one thing, being on YouTubers and being public figures, because some people don't realize that. The moment you put your first video out there, you're a public figure. The moment in social media you make your first post, you're a public figure. So it's weird, and from comments in your stuff, how people connect with you. So just make that call and go, how are you? Because you never know. And I say this with everybody, if not directed at you, but I say it on every single live feed. If you're looking at doing something permanent to a temporary solution, it's going to be a temporary problem, talk to people, reach out. All of my contact info is in every single video. I'm easy to find. I mean, I make this joke. I'm like herpes in a Fort Bragg barracks during summer. You can find me everywhere, okay? I have talked to people before who were going to take their life. It's really weird when you talk to a friend and go, nope, all hands on deck, gotta go, slam. What the fuck are you doing, And you just sit and talk. I may not know what you're going through. I may not completely understand it, but I got an ear. I'm going to listen. It's that simple, guys. Reach out. Your demons get less when sometimes you can share your problems. Because when you think you're at the end, you're not. You're just not. You can come back from anything. Look at this man over here. He's gone through things in his life. He's standing tall, and he's an executive chef.
It's I commend you tremendously for that, because not a lot of people. You caught me off guard with the mental health thing. Not a lot of people talk about it. Unfortunately, like I've had that conversation. I've had a conversation with every single one of. I've had a conversation with every single one of my friends that was actually about to have a child. Because right before my daughter was born, and you have kids, so you understand this, and you'll laugh at this, because nobody ever told me the insane, deep, dark, morbid, violent thoughts that start popping in your head when you have a kid.
Sadly,
like
yes.
you start thinking about things and realizing you're capable of things that you never realized you could do before, and it scared the fucking shit out of me. So I've had about 5 friends now that have had their first child, and it kind of takes them off guard at first, and I'm like, hey man, you might get some really fucking weird, scary thoughts, and if you ever want to talk about them, I'll just listen, because it goes with that mental health thing. Not because we're men and we have to handle it. It's nobody wants to talk about it, and I commend you tremendously for bringing that to the forefront, because there's breaking down when people need you. That's not being a man, right? When the chips are down and you fold, that's when you fucked up. You asking for help before that happens, you having your people around you and expressing that and expressing the demons you got going on in your head to people so you can be that guy when your people need you, that's being a man, because that's just called preparation. Talking to other men or whoever and getting that out there and being mentally ready is no different than having your bug out bag ready. It's having your mental bug out bag ready. You know what I mean? Like getting prepared, being ready for when you're called on. And I'm not saying some crazy world war issue. I'm saying it could be your kid's school. It could be your friend at the bar. It could be whatever. But there's going to come a time when someone needs you to stand up and be that guy, and taking care of what's up here, so you're ready for that situation, is just like keeping that bug out bag. It's just like the toilet gun. It's just like the shower gun. It's just like the shotgun by the bed. It's being prepared, man. You know what I mean? And I commend you tremendously for bringing that to light and making that a topic of conversation, because it takes a guy like you, like a strong, tough, a vet, someone who people look at as like, that guy's infallible, right? Like that guy's mentally just bulletproof, to say, no, like, I think it's some fucked up shit, and sometimes I want to run my fucking head through a wall, and that's okay, to get people to have that conversation, man.
I actually put a video out there. If you ever get bored, go look for it. It's called My Story, My Redemption, where I thought about joining the 22 and what pulled me back.
Oof.
And one of the big reasons why I talk about mental health on the show, just to kind of fill you in, then we're going to hit the wrap up, and don't go anywhere, because there's a couple things in the green room I want to talk with you about. I had a men's grooming company owner come on the show, and because of Rona, he was having a really, really bad problem, and he broke down right in the middle of the show. And when he opened up about mental health, it opened up the door to go, this is now part of my show. And ever since that point, it has always been a huge chunk of the show, because everybody goes through different experiences. Everybody has something different to offer. And it's amazing when people start relating their stories. Someone out there who may watch this later on down the road can go, fuck, that hit with me. That just changed everything. So that's why a huge reason why I always bring that into my show. I know it's really not popular or whatever, but fuck it. My channel, my big mouth, my platform, I'm running it, and we're talking about stuff that we should talk about.
100%, man. That's yeah. People need to talk about it.
Yeah, with that fun stuff, guys. I asked this with everybody, Steve, before we close everything down. Do you have anything coming up like in the next week you want to share, like Rumble related, or I don't know, an Instagram rant that's going to make me laugh my ass off in the morning?
I don't know. I can't put anything on Instagram because my second account, it's been like shadow banned. like when I'll put a post up and I'll get like 7 views on it, and I'm like, all right, nobody sees it now. So if I do anything, it'll be on Rumble or maybe YouTube. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a video and be like, hey, go check out the Rumble video so people can check it out.
Yeah.
I got a test I want to do, and I've got some shit for Patty. Patty, if you see this, I haven't forgot about you. This southern word of the day, widget-digit. You didn't think I was done, did you, Patty? I'm just, remember, wait for that one.
That's going to be epic. And I know this is going to be no shocker to anybody out there. I am filming some men's grooming videos this week, but tomorrow's video is going to be a blade from CJRB. Not going to give you the title, just the company. So with that fun stuff, Steve, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you coming on the show, bro. I'm going to hit a little outro video. Don't go anywhere because like a couple things in the green room.
Rock and roll.
Guys, thank you so much for the time you just gave me. I hope you enjoyed our guest tonight if we had one, and yes, I'm pre-recording this, or that you might have enjoyed an open mic night or whatever the heck just happened. We're going to try to do these every single Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and whatever you guys are in between and around the world. Next week, we should have another amazing guest or something really cool for you to watch. Thanks so much for watching all this stuff, guys, and we'll see you in our next one.